I don't know if it's a question so much as a statement. I am still considered a baby Christian, and I struggle with Christian imposter syndrome. I never see it talked about, but I can't be the only one. All right, let me share something with you. You are not the only one. I wish more people would talk about it. We live in a social media generation. And with social media, we present the best version of ourselves. We try to present the best version of ourselves in our profile pictures. Make sure everything looks perfect in the background when we do our videos. When we share our lives, we share the best parts possible. And even when a Christian talks about their sins, they always talk about the ones they used to struggle with, but rarely talk about the ones they're currently struggling with. But I talk to a lot of Christians privately. I do biblical counseling. I preach the word and speak to people individually. And I can tell you with absolute confidence that you are not the only one. But can I also tell you something else? That should be normal. Imposter syndrome is when you have an idea of what you should be like and you know you're not that. Well, we're supposed to be like Christ. And here's a little secret. You're not. Every single Christian should feel a little bit of imposter syndrome. In fact, if you want to get technical, the very reason anyone enters the kingdom of heaven is because they're an imposter. You're not going to enter the kingdom of heaven based on your own righteousness, but rather you are clothed in Christ. You said you're a baby Christian, so you may not be familiar with this story, but there's a great patriarch in the Old Testament named Jacob. In fact, we talk about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob is the son of Isaac. But did you know that Jacob is not his firstborn? It's actually quite funny. The way that Jacob was able to get the inheritance was by selling a bowl of soup to his hungry brother Esau. But you see, Jacob knew he couldn't go to his father for his blessing because his father knew that Esau was the firstborn. And so in his father's old age, when his eyes barely worked, his mother helped him to dress up like Esau. And so Jacob came before his father to receive the blessing, but his father thought it was Esau. And so Jacob was an imposter in this moment. Now you might wonder, Mike, why in the world would that be a part of the Bible? That this great patriarch actually had to do something deceptive to receive his inheritance. But the image is actually beautiful. Because just as Jacob, dressed as Esau, went before his father to receive a blessing he did not deserve, likewise, we go before the Father dressed like Jesus to get what we do not deserve. Jacob wore Esau's robes. We wear Christ's robes. We are clothed in Christ. And so when the Father looks upon you, he doesn't look at you and see you. If he did, there's nothing about you worthy of the kingdom of heaven. But rather, when he looks upon you, he sees his Son, with whom he is well pleased. It is this fact that keeps us humble. You see, the Pharisees, they thought they were righteous on their own accord. And so they treated others with contempt. They judged others from a place of superiority, as if they themselves were not guilty. But we recognize that we are imposters. I am not righteous. I do not go out here telling the world, you need to be righteous to be saved. You need to be like me. But rather I go to them as a fellow broken sinner. And I say, we need Jesus. Not only are you not alone, but you're absolutely correct for feeling that way. This is what makes grace so beautiful. Because we realize that we don't deserve salvation based on our own merit. We look into that perfect mirror, the scriptures, and we see exactly who we are. And we don't walk away forgetting who we are. If anyone has this Christian imposter syndrome, it's because you actually have the correct standard. You've set the standard at Christ. If somebody doesn't feel like an imposter, then they probably have the wrong standard. Rather than letting that make you feel terrible, let it make you feel joy because of the grace that he offers, despite the fact that you don't deserve it. And let it fill you with a zeal to go out and tell others about his love that looks beyond my brokenness and pours out grace for those that are humble. God bless and go in peace.